Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poplar Report. We got some interesting news coming out of the Dutch intelligence service. Did you know that there was a Dutch intelligence service? Yes, there is. And I Googled Dutch intelligence service and it's all this picture of this lady from the 1800s dressed in diamonds and stuff like that, because that's apparently what the Dutch intelligence service is. But they have put their wood shoes on and they have come up with a report that is rather concerning. They have caught a Russian vessel in their waters, scouting out their infrastructure, their windmills. Yes, the Dutch are concerned that the Russians are going to attack their windmills. It's hard to say that without cracking up. I'm sorry. It sounds like Don Quixote or something like that, right? Anyway, so it is serious, though. They have caught not only a Russian vessel out there mapping their infrastructure, but then also they've caught numerous spies under diplomatic credentials from Russia that have been scouting out their infrastructure points. They are very concerned that Russia is preparing to attack their infrastructure. Now, they're not the only ones out there. Norway is also saying something very similar, that they are concerned, and they've actually started posting soldiers at critical infrastructure points. Norway produces 25% of Europe's natural gas now. Now that we're not importing it anymore from the bad guys over there, they're importing 25% of it from Norway. They're importing a significant portion of it now from the United States as well, after our major gas terminal is coming back online. That was, mysteriously exploded. Russia's natural gas pipeline mysteriously exploded, and then just a couple months later, United States' biggest export gas terminal suddenly caught fire and exploded. Couldn't be a coincidence there. Couldn't be any connection at all whatsoever there. Anyway, so the Dutch are saying that they are concerned that the Russians are scoping them out and preparing to do sabotage activities against their energy systems and their other infrastructure, including their water. They just released a report on this. Earlier last month, the Norwegians produced a similar report. Basically, we're seeing that all these countries around there, particularly around the North Sea, are basically concerned that we are going to be seeing an escalation in shadow warfare, gray zone warfare of things just mysteriously exploding. Now, granted, when their stuff keeps mysteriously exploding, it makes sense that our stuff would mysteriously start exploding. And, anyone who's saying that we're not in World War III right now, I don't know what you're talking about. Now, I will say that it's got to be easier to protect a power plant that's running on coal than it is to protect a power plant that's spread out as a giant wind farm all across the horizon. But even though it's spread out, and you may think that because it's spread out, you'd have to attack each individual windmill at a time, but that's not true. All you have to do is hit the power lines, the main power conduits and such like that, which should be theoretically easier to replace. But I'm not a saboteur, so I don't know what's with that. But the more that they become more reliant on green energy, you don't get to pick where the green energy power plants go. Whereas when you're building like coal-fired plants, nuclear plants, you can put those wherever you want. In somebody's backyard that you don't like. That's where you put those. Whereas the windmills, you put them where all the birds are going to get killed by them, and you put them out at sea where it's going to irritate and kill water mammals. Of course, that's where you put the windmills. And then, solar panels, those are a little more flexible, but you need lots and lots of cheap land, so that you can shade all the wildlife so that plants can't grow, because, having less trees is more green for the environment, So anyway, all that to say, with the green push in Europe, it is making them more vulnerable to infrastructure attacks. Their power grids are more destabilized as it is, and so any kind of disturbances to the power grid due to sabotage and such are going to be even more critical than anything else. So we're kind of watching out for that. The Norwegians, the Dutch are on edge and watching. Of course, the Germans are, of course, watching. Poland is watching. Poland just had that incident where those mysterious divers were caught off one of their main natural gas terminals, ports, where the natural gas ships come in and unload natural gas. Of course, those divers were who know who. One of them had a Spanish passport, so they must all be Spanish, but the other guys just didn't seem to have passports, even though they're in international waters, because why would you have identification on you when you're doing shady things in the middle of the night near key points of infrastructure? So we are watching that, and we are seeing a lot of concerning incidents out there, cloak and dagger kind of stuff. Now, the Dutch intelligence maybe need to do some more stuff out there so that their image search doesn't just show up a lady from the 1800s, but, you know, they're doing what they can, and hopefully they are on top of this thing. I sleep better at night knowing the Dutch intelligence services are on this. All right, folks, if you have some comments, pop them in the comments down below. I know we all have some things that we probably need to say joke-wise about this, but of course it's obviously very serious. These type of things could escalate very quickly. Infrastructure attacks could turn into open warfare relatively quickly. There is a lot going on there. Things have been spontaneously combusting, including ammunition plants over in the Baltic states. I almost said Balkans. That's like completely the other side of Europe. The Baltic states, and so we're watching that, and everybody is on edge in Europe, and all it takes is some missteps here or there. Of course, Belarus just came under attack. Their airstrip was attacked, and are they going to see that as an attack on them? Of course, it was done by separatists and protesters or something. I don't think we can call them peaceful protesters, but hey, they didn't actually hurt anyone, so it must be peaceful protest. Anyway, if you found this video useful or helpful, you might want to check out this other video right here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you later. Steve Poplar, out.